get your attention, please? Woo! Yo, you ready for this? Coming at ya from Wicked Big Studios in Peabody, Massachusetts.
Ladies and gentlemen,
sit back, buckle up, because you're in the happy hour with your boy, King Cap.
Oh, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the happy hour. I'll tell you guys what, it's been about a week now, and I'll tell you, I've been excited to get back here and chat with everybody. I want to throw a quick thank you out to all the Happy Hour Social Club members, guys. The amount of swag that went out last week, I can't even believe it. Big D's going to post a picture this week after the, right when we get ready to swing to the Lenny Melnick Fantasy Network on Wednesday nights. Guys, thank you. I can't believe how many of you guys support us. Thank you so much. It's honestly touching. And I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to make sure I do something here, and we'll get some contests going. And one of the things I figured I could do for you is bring you a tremendous show today, which I'm gonna. A couple of quick housekeeping notes before we get going. We're brought to you today locally by Jetaway Waste Management, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, for all your waste management needs, commercial junk removal, we got roll-off dumpsters, whatever you need, they can help with all your waste removal needs, guys. If you do need them locally here in New England, 617-913-4432. If I was you, though, if you do call them, make sure you pay your bills on time. I heard that the Happy Hour Social Club and the New England Cartel is collecting for them, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what else. We're brought to you today by Overlay DFS, the new pinnacle in daily fantasy sports. Guys, visit the new matchup shop. Take a peek. If you want to take just one or two matchups throughout the day, here you go. I mean, they're there for you to pick from. It's awesome. It's the best new site in all daily fantasy. You know that we got MMA coming up next going on this site, and every Friday night, Beat King Hap Challenge. Guys, if you can beat me, you double your money automatically, including all the other terrific prizes that'll be up for grabs. And when I tell you guys, Overlay DFS wants to throw a quick thank you to you guys for everybody swarming the site. Make sure you get over there. It's fantastic. And I'll tell you what's fantastic, though, one other thing. And that is, today's guest is actually sitting back and relaxing a little bit now, as we got actually, after a 18-year career, 32 professional fights. I mean, guys, when I tell you, this man is in his career has he's compiled just numerous statistics that would be, they're mind-blowing. His 43 total professional fights with 32 wins. I said 32 fights. 32 wins. The former World Series of Fighting champion, and my God, this man, he needs no introduction. Congratulations on your retirement, and welcome back to the Happy Hour. Jon Fitch, welcome to the show, Jon.
Thanks for having me back, man.
Oh, we're happy to have you, big man. It's like I said, it's everybody was excited to have you. My inbox was swarmed with questions. Guys, I just want to tell you, we can't ask him all these questions. We only got him on for a little bit, but thank you so much for sending in all those questions. Jon, when I tell you, hundreds and hundreds of congratulations on a tremendous career. We really loved watching you. Thank you for all the entertainment. The Happy Hour Social Club firmly behind you as always, big man, and everybody wants to thank you. So for the entire Happy Hour Social Club, thank you for an excellent 18 years in the fight game, and thank you for all the entertainment, big man. I know that you must feel happy, after a very satisfying 18 years in the cage, correct?
Yeah, I had a good run. It was a lot of fun. I did a lot of good things, and I'm ready to move on to the next chapter and the next fight, and it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and the next fight hopefully won't consist of getting punched in the head. You've done that long enough. But like I said, everybody remembers your last visit to the show, and like I said on there, just somebody who, epitomized mixed martial arts, between discipline, mixing all the disciplines together. Between wrestling, jiu-jitsu, ground and pound, Krav Maga, everything together basically in the cage. And I'll tell you, man, I know I said on the last show, basically just an innovator of violence, and just somebody who just blends everything together and just goes out there to get the W. I ain't going to keep saying it, but congratulations on an excellent 18 years. And one of the things I know I said to you before we came on the air is not many people walk away from this fight game with a record of 7-2-1 in their last 10. That should, very well, everybody knows that should be 8-2 because you won the championship against Rory McDonald, but 7-2-1 walking out of the cage, that must really be nice for you. You know that's a huge accomplishment, correct?
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking about that, other than, I just kept winning fights, and I figured as long as I kept winning, I might as well keep going. and I really would have liked to have gotten the belt after the Roy fight. I thought I won that fight. But, I'm content with my career right now. I'm content being 42 and a half years old and ready to done being, competing on that level. I might get into some grappling stuff down the road. Who knows?
Yep.
But I'm done getting punched and kicked in the head.
Yeah, I can't blame you for that. And honestly, Jesus, you've done enough. I mean, truthfully, I look at even just your UFC days. I mean, before moving on to Bellator, the amount of wins that you went through. And I mean, one of the other things I was going to mention while we had you here is 20 of your 32 wins come by decision. That is a lot of octagon minutes and minutes in the cage. I mean, you must realize that, oh my God, 20 wins by decision. That's I mean, that got to be up the tops. I mean, maybe that might even be the most ever. That's tremendous amount of time in the cage, correct?
No, it's a lot. It's a lifetime.
Yeah. And, you weren't fighting at the bottom of the card either. So these were some monsters that you were in there with. I mean, for, like I said, going the distance. So, I mean, that's something to be said for your, for obviously your cardio and at 40, if over 40 years old, that's tremendous that you're even still in the cage, let alone going the distance, right? I mean, what do you attribute that to?
I eat lots of red meat. I lift weights. I drink whiskey. I think that has a lot to do with it.
See,
I dealt with beautiful women whenever possible.
Yep, that's always a plus.
That's the key. I think that's really the key.
Keeps the juices flowing, right?
Yep,
keep you young. And I'll tell you, John, one of the things.
You got a consistency with your workouts. I think everybody needs resistance training. We lived in a gravity-based environment, right? You gotta lift weights. You gotta do something. Resistance bands, anything, body weight, push-ups, dips. You gotta be doing something. Everybody.
I was going to touch on that right now, actually, and I was going to say that on your website, anybody who's interested, I know I directed Big D to that because, up here in Massachusetts with the gym still being definitely in question with the whole COVID incident that we got going on in the world today, you have actually free of charge. We have a resistant band training circuit on your website that people can access. And I mean, this is something they should know about because I know I sent Big D from the show over there to take a peek at it. That's something that you've had up there now, and that's still, I imagine that's getting a ton of downloads, right?
Yeah, man, I've had a lot of people download it. And, it's free, but some people, they have it I have it available on Gumroad, and people can download the workout. But yeah, a lot of people will donate money to that sometimes, so it's been pretty cool. People have been really supportive.
Yeah,
but that's well. I came up with the lifting system back like in 2013 because I needed to figure out a better way to lift and stay strong, but not lift like a bodybuilder. Or I was used to lift for football and stuff because I had to train 3-4 times a day, so I couldn't do heavy lifts and then continue to train throughout the day and actually get anything out of it. Broke my body down too much. So I came up with a system of, I lift like 6 days a week, never more than 4 lifts a day. And I've been using that for a while. And then during COVID, I decided to figure out how to do all the lifts and all the movements with resistance bands. So I did that and put it all together and put it up for free so people can kind of get to look at it so they don't have to worry too much if they can't get into a gym. They can get those rubber bands and those things work pretty good.
Yeah, and I'll tell you another thing, too, is a lot of the, if you go on and you try to order weights and things like this right now, there's a lot of price gouging going on because of the pandemic, and people are having trouble. I know, like I said, Big D was trying to get his hands on some, I have the Select Tech dumbbells here at my house. He's trying to get his hands, there's a waiting list on this stuff, and people that are selling them at like double, triple the price. You can get your hand on some of these resistance bands. You can go over to jonfitch.net and get your hands on a nice circuit here that, welterweight champion of the world does. I mean, free of charge, leave a little donation, take care of the man. I mean, that's a pretty good little system you got going, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I was surprised. I gave it 3 months. I did nothing but those resistance bands for 3 months. And, that was, I haven't picked up an iron weight since. And you saw how I looked for my fight. So it's pretty jacked.
Absolutely.
The bands work pretty well.
And I'll tell you one of the other things with you about your past fight that came up. It looked like you didn't have because all of us were watching the lead up on Instagram, guys. If you were Jon Fitch Smash on Instagram, guys, and I'll tell you what, some of those videos are still up there leading up to the fight. It didn't look like you had a very difficult weight cut at all. I mean, how was the weight cut going through with the with the pandemic and stuff, and not having access to a lot of treadmills, things along this lines. I mean, how did the weight cut go this time around?
They took really good care of us. They actually put us in the setup that a lot of us are hoping that they keep. We each got our own little mat space that was curtained off. We asked for it. We got our own portable sauna that we got to keep. It was a good setup this time. Like our mat space was our mat space. They got cleaned every night. No one else used our mat space and sweated on them. So it's less likely you're going to get some kind of skin rash or disease from that.
Yep, wow. It
was kind of a really good setup. We didn't have to worry about finding a sauna or traveling to a sauna at a gym or 24-hour fitness somewhere, something like that. So it was actually decent. The real problem was, I was considering being retired for a while, and I really didn't think about fighting again until the pandemic stuff hit. But I put on a bit of weight from lifting and eating. And I was like, in April, I was 218 pounds.
Wow.
So I had to start bringing down my weight, down to like 192 pounds. I did in about 3 months using my meal plan that I have in my Wake Up Bible book. And, I had to stop lifting for a couple months because I needed my muscles to deflate.
Yeah, take down you built up a lot of muscle doing the lifts and things along this line. But you mentioned the Wake Up Bible. Now, this isn't like something that you keep buried underneath your bed. People need the Wake Up Bible. A lot of mixed martial arts listen to this, especially Team Ironclad here in Wilmington, Massachusetts. But if someone does need some assistance, they always know the Dolce Diet. But if they need the Wake Up Bible, where do they find that?
It's available on Amazon. But everything I have is linked somewhere on my website, jonfitch.net. So
yep. Or you can Google that, the Wake Up Bible. Actually, I'm looking at it right here. Buy on Amazon, right on jonfitch.net, guys. Any martial artist wants to pick that up. It's available from Amazon. Probably a couple days shipping coming to your house. But it's like $6, right? That's not even a big purchase, right?
It's cheaper out there, $3 for a Kindle. But you don't even need to. If you're not gonna cut weight, if you're not a weight cut sport, if you're not a weight cut sport athlete, you can still use the meal plan and get your body composition in control, lean out.
Yeah. And I know that I follow you on Instagram, guys, and he's always putting up different meal things he's doing, different things he's doing with his meals, different things that he's doing with workouts. Always putting up in the story, workouts of the day that you're doing. It's actually a fantastic follow for anybody who's into fitness, anybody's into mixed martial arts. Jon Fitch Smash on Instagram. And one of the other things I noticed that keeps going up on your webpage there is, you're always promoting the health, fitness, lifting, defying gravity. But, I'm noticing, too, that you're spending more and more time now when you're at the house doing things outside, getting your vitamin D in the sun, and, doing your workouts outside. Is that something that you actually target? Because that's something I always tell clients that, I work with, and also myself, is getting some vitamin D, getting outside, and like you say all the time, defy, fight gravity and make sure you lift some heavy things, right?
Don't that is what I say, but don't let gravity win. But no, that's what I like about those resistance bands too, because you can do them outside. You can take them to the park and do your workout outside. I grew up in Indiana, out in the country, and we were just outside all day in the sun doing stuff, in the summertime. And so I'm just used to that. I got a little backyard space, so I'll come up with projects for me and the boys will do, just make stuff.
Yep.
They won the PVC pipes the other day, so.
I seen you were putting together a bike out there. You're getting at it outside, and
it's fun. I like doing stuff. I think it's better. A lot of guys want to try to play video games all the time as their hobby, and I think that just isn't as rewarding as building something or making something. It doesn't have to be like super fancy.
Yep.
But anything, just So if you got the kids, with building a gun out of wood. Like it's a whole lot, but it's fun and engaging, and the kids will remember that forever.
Of course, and one of the things that I noticed that you've been outside a lot. You've been outside with the newest addition to the Fitch family. I mean, how's that going?
Zuko, yeah, we got a new dog. He's a monster. He's already put up, and man, it's good to have him around the house. So he's a unique breed. He's really shy, and yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to motivate him because he doesn't go crazy for treats.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, my guys here, they'll sit there and one of the things when I taught them to, my dogs, when I house train them, one of the first things that they do, I mean, truthfully, I just gave them a treat every time they went to the bathroom outside. They never went to the bathroom outside again. These fatties, that's all they want is the treats. That's funny that Zuko's not interested in them.
Yeah. My other dogs I've had too, that was usually a pretty easy point to get their attention, to get them to do stuff. But like, he gets excited about his food for breakfast in the morning and dinner at night, but he doesn't really get excited for the treats at all.
Wow. That's you're right. So that must be tough getting motivated. One thing I did notice about him, man, just from the pitches is, I mean, you're in trouble. This dude is going to be big. The paws on that guy are enormous. You must be expecting him to get pretty damn big, right?
Yeah, he's a Presa Canario, which is a Canary Mastiff. They're like cousins to the Corny Corsos, I believe.
Yep. Connie Corso's what Big D from the show actually has, and Batista. He's actually since passed, but I mean they get large. And would you say he's a Canary style Mastiff?
So I think they're cousins because the Canaries are from Canary Islands near Spain and Argentina. The other ones are from Argentina, which is South America. So I think they're cousins.
Oh. All right, I'm gonna have to tell Big D about that to look into that breed. I've never heard of him before. Like I said, I just see the pictures of those paws. Wow.
They got a longer nose. I think the Cornos have like a more of a bowling nose.
Yeah, gotcha. All right, well, one of the things I wanted to ask you about, actually, too, while we have everybody here listening, we got everybody's ears. I mean, you're retired now. We got a lot of stuff going on. And, I mean, truthfully, one of the things that I like, Sunday nights, I try to make it a can't-miss episode, but Jon Fitch Knows Nothing on Sunday nights. That's usually live on, you can watch it on YouTube, right? I mean, that's pretty consistent. That's Sunday nights, right?
Yeah, I stream to a number of platforms. Same time, Periscope, Facebook, YouTube. Oh man, I even think there's a Twitch, but I don't know how to use that.
That's funny you say that, man. My Wednesday show live on the Lenny Melnick Fantasy Network actually is now broadcast on Twitch, and I have no clue how to use Twitch. Thank God for our IT guy, the best IT guy in the business, actually also from San Jose, California, Anthony DeCato. I mean, he takes care of all on the IT side for me, but I have no clue how to use Twitch. I pull it up on the computer, and I read the chat room along with the chat room on the Lenny Melnick Fantasy Network, and it's an interactive thing, which is how, guys, if you enjoy my show on the Lenny Melnick Fantasy Network, interactive and everything, Jon Fitch Knows Nothing on Sunday nights has the chat room. He goes ahead and interacts with the fans as usual. Any of the Happy Hour Social Club members want to go on there, throw a question to the champ, feel free. Sunday nights, right, big man?
Yeah, man. I stream live on Sunday nights. Sometimes I'll do different streams because I'll have guests who can't do the Sunday night. Yeah, I'll post different stuff. And then I started doing a different segment, like a walk and talk thing where I kind of want to try to, just visit places and kind of like a moving podcast. We're talking. I got a couple mics, Bluetooth, lava mics, lavalier mics, whatever, for pick up our sound real good. Play around with that, so that should be fun. But yeah, I guess got a ton of stuff that we'll be putting out there. Just got the newsletter going. I have the Stones, still be making those, telling those. I'm hoping to put together a company at the end of the year and do some social media type marketing, branding for some people. So got a lot in the works. It's going to be interesting. But,
I mean, one door closes and a bunch more open. I mean, guys, if you don't, and I tell you what, for any of our medical marijuana users, the Stone Company is actually handmade toke stones, and these are pretty awesome. And you know what? These are all made by hand. And again, you normally get yourself set up outside, take care of it, and it seems like it's almost like a Zen thing where you get in the zone, and that kind of, what are you, clearing your mind making these bad boys, because they're pretty fantastic. I gotta actually get one for my good pal Joe 45. What do you is that how you do it?
Yeah, you fall into that flow state, and it's just, it's kind of like meditation to some point. You get that lateral drift, your mind can kind of wander, you get your perspective on things sometimes. It's really, I think that's one of the things. Anytime you can kind of work with your hands and make something or create something, you have that ability to kind of fall into that flow state. And that's, I think, just a healthy state to be in.
Yep.
Where people who play too many video games, they trick themselves into that, but they're not really in that flow state. They're just distracted. They're looking at flashing lights.
It's been some time since I used to play video games, but I can remember when I did. You'd get locked into those things, and you'd waste hours and hours and hours playing. I mean, some people like them. That's their prerogative. Me, on the other hand, I felt like I got nothing accomplished.
It's about how much time you're investing into it.
Yeah.
Return investment. Everything should be about a return on investment. And I think if you, back in the day when I played, I'd play like 4 to 8 hours a day. I was way over investing. Way over invested.
Yep. A good way to look at it, in my opinion, I'm sure you probably agree with me on this, is that if it's like a reward, you work 50 hours, you come home, you spend 2 hours, if you want to unwind, play some video games, drink yourself a, nice cup of Clearwater Distillery, pour yourself a Lorenzo, some Josephine, sip on that and play some video games. I could see you doing it as a reward per se, but I truthfully, having it as a hobby and spending 10, 12, 20 hours a week on it, only in my opinion, I say it's kind of a waste where you could be getting a lot more accomplished in that time.
100%.
I got you there.
Yeah.
So Tuesday nights, I wanted to ask you about this here. Tuesday nights, I see we got Boomer and Toots, right? That's I don't know if that's live on Tuesday nights or that's when you release the show, but you got another podcast, right?
Yep, Leah Lee and my co-host, we give kind of a masculine and feminine perspective on stuff. We talk about dating stuff. So we talk about dating apps and what dating's like. She's gone to New York, and we'll talk about some issues that are going on that are kind of like men and women related. We talk about how this rich guy in Canada has to pay his ex-girlfriend $50,000 a month for 10 years because he supported their lifestyle when they dated for 14 years, even though they didn't have any kids. They didn't live together.
Not married?
They're not married, no kids. They never lived together.
Any of the women that I know, guys, that doesn't stand up here in the state of Massachusetts. Just put that out there. I'm just kidding. But Joe Fo's going to kill me on that one. But I'll tell you, right? So basically, you got the male, female, East Coast, West Coast. You know what I mean? It basically a good little blend on Tuesday nights, right?
A lot of fun, yeah.
That's awesome. Also, guys, I follow her on social media as well. She's a good follow, fun time, always doing stuff and always pumping up Jon Fitch, always putting you out there, especially leading up to fight time, right?
Yep, she's my hype man.
Perfect. Also, and one other one I wanted to go ahead and throw out there so people know is that on occasion I noticed that my phone gets the alert that Fitch and Tinkle are smashing everything, and that's with your buddy Tinkle, who's a comedian, and I mean that goes out. I mean, I don't think that's not a set day every week. That just comes out basically as is, right?
Well, we usually pre-record unless we're doing a watch along with the fight, but we pre-record a lot, and we try to put up the audio every one or two a week. I can't remember what day it is. I'm pretty sure Chris is pretty consistent on which day. But that's mostly on Podbean. That's mostly audio. That stuff.
Yep. And all the other ones basically have a video feed to go with them, correct? I mean, they can get directed there from johnfitch.net.
We do, all the other stuff. Other than the Fitch Smash, everything else is usually a live stream. I don't pre-record much. unless I'm putting up videos. I'm putting up Fight League videos now on Roxon from the last fight. So those will be going up there. People can check Roxon out. It's a pretty cool platform, subscription service. So you don't have to worry about creators getting censored at all.
Yep. At Fitch on Rockfin, guys, if you're looking for it, at Fitch, correct? That's the, you go there, there's free, there's subscription, like a premium sub, but there's also the free stuff on there, the free videos as well, correct?
I put a lot of my like low production quality stuff. I'm not gonna charge people to look at.
Yeah.
So I stuff up there is it's still good knowledge. It's just the production quality is not that good, so I just put it up for free.
Gotcha. But if people ever want some free, and on top of it, there's some free like beginners MMA, things like this up here. Different strategies as well, right?
Free technique stuff. I have a blend of things on that channel. I kind of haven't specialized in any one thing. I'm shotgunning a bunch of different stuff that between the podcasts and one-off videos and technique videos. Trying to see what sticks best and what the most feedback is. So I just keep putting up, top quality content. So I kind of figure out most of what people want to see.
Yep, and you also have a lot of Fitch Smash techniques on here, right? I mean, that people can go on and look at for free if they're at home, during this pandemic, want to go ahead and, try out some of these moves here coming right from the Fitch Smash Academy per se, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Got a lot of stuff I put up, and then I'll be working on a lot of online courses and content for people too, instructional type things. So, I'll have self-defense things I want to put up. I'm going to have some wrestling and things based around MMA, takedowns for MMA and MMA wrestling defense, stuff for the wall, a lot of different things I can teach and get out there for people. A lot of people are isolated and not able to get into the gyms right now anyways.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes perfect sense. One other thing, guys, if you ever wanted to have a drink with the champ, feel free on Thursday nights. You can go by for cauliflower and cocktail hour, right? When have a drink with the champ?
Yeah, man. I put the show on suspension for a little bit because I had to train for the fight.
Yep.
But we'll see. We'll see if I get back to this week or next week. Definitely next week.
Sounds good. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to talk to our good friends over at Clearwater Distillery, guys. And they ship out of California. So what I'm going to tell them is our buddies up in Utah, they make the most delicious craft liquor. I mean, top shelf, the official top shelf alcohol, the Happy Hour Social Club. I'm going to have to talk with them. We're going to have to get you a bottle over there so you can try it on a Thursday night. You'll love it. I mean, it's actually the most delicious alcohol I've ever tasted in my life, especially the new Josephine. I'm going to have to talk to our good friend Matt over there who was on the show a couple of weeks ago. Have him send you out a bottle. That sounds like a good time, right?
Yeah, that sounds great.
What we're going to do, right, guys? John, we got John for a couple more minutes, guys. What I want to do, I want to take a brief break. When we come back, I do have a couple of your questions here that you wanted me to throw to the champ, guys. I'll tell you what, we're here, with the newly retired, honestly, the man is in retirement. He's got his feet up. He's got a drink in his hand. We're here with Jon Fitch. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsor. What's up, guys? We're brought to you today free of charge by Liquid IV. Liquid IV is the world's most delicious hydration drink. Not only is Liquid IV good for you, it tastes great. It also delivers its hydration with its cellular transport technology. My favorite flavor, of course, is the strawberry cake, but I also am getting the best sleep I've gotten in years by using Liquid IV Sleep Multiplier. Give its great blueberry lavender flavor a try, guys. You'll enjoy it. Promo code KING.HAP will save you 25% off all regular and sale prices, guys. Go ahead and take advantage of this very generous offer by our sponsor, Liquid IV. KING.HAP will save you 25%. Go get it, guys. Guys, sorry about that delay on that commercial, but I will tell you, Liquid IV has released last week the brand new set, 3 flavors. We now have watermelon, we have apple pie, and we have guava full time, guys. Get yourself over to liquidiv.com. Use yourself promo code KINGHAP, or King.HAP, I apologize, and you can save yourself 25%, guys. Go ahead and get the variety pack. Get all those new flavors sent to your house. Save yourself 25%. We're back with the champ, Jon Fitch. Jon, everybody wrote in all these questions, and I want to thank everybody. I mean, we didn't even announce that you were coming on the show, and I still got the question just from an Instagram post. So, everybody, thank you so much, and Jon appreciates it because, I mean, you get a nice outpouring of love for the former champ. And I'll tell you what I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to throw to you here. We have some excellent questions. I took a little stack of them, and I figured I'd throw them at you real quick, and you could let me know exactly what your thoughts are here to go ahead and reward the Happy Hour Social Club members for all their loyalty. I got, like I said here. So we're going to start. What we'll start with is we got Kevin in Laconia, New Hampshire. He wanted to know if you had an update on the class action lawsuit about the Ali Act versus the UFC. Has there been any news on this as of late?
So the Ali Act and the class action lawsuit are actually two separate issues. The class action lawsuit recently had Judge Bulworth give an almost decision on our class certification.
Really?
It's several times that if he were to make a judgment today, and this was on the 17th, that he would likely grant certification to the class.
Wow.
So the way everybody takes that, or the lawyers and everybody says, it's pretty much, it's unofficially official that he's probably giving class certification for the bout suit, but probably not the identity class.
So, I mean, you think we'll have a ruling on that coming fairly soon?
And that's the other thing I'm not sure of. I don't know what the timeline is for his absolute final decision. I don't know if we have to wait another year for that, but I hope not. I hope it comes sooner than later.
Yep.
But, yeah. And then once that decision is final, then the next step would be trial.
And that, I believe that would garner a lot of media attention. I got to think that would. I mean, some of the things that go not brought up in the media and people don't bring them up, I get appalled with sometimes. I mean, Tommy, I had Trish Marshall was on the show as well. And she had a similar issue where they don't even bring it up unless it's against them. Sorry to interrupt you there, Jon. What were you going to say?
Yeah. They're not really media. It's PR. They're just PR. They run PR. It's not journalism. When UFC has such a monopoly over things that there's no journalism done, because if anybody did journalism and asked questions, they would lose access or they'd be punished. So you just have a bunch of people do pro UFC PR. That's all the media really is.
One of the you're right, and one of the other things is coming out of Nevada, like the Nevada State Athletic Commission actually slid into court documents just about a month ago that they said that they never actually diagnosed Tommy the Duke Morrison. I mean, former Rocky 5-star. I mean, world championship boxer. He had an $88 million contract with Don King that was voided because he had HIV. Now it turns out that they're putting it into a court document on page 300 that the gentleman never was diagnosed with HIV. They cut this guy off of his contract. He had to win a fight the next night when they found him. And if he did that, he was guaranteed a fight with Tyson. And they were trying to get the Tyson Holyfield fight at the time. And all of a sudden he has HIV and he's out of the picture. I mean, in my head, I'm blown away by this case, but the Nevada State Athletic Commission said that they never even tested him. It was never even in the testing protocol. And now, in court documents, they say that this man never was diagnosed with HIV. So it's the things that don't come out in the media. Actually, I'm dumbfounded about it. I don't know if you had any background on that situation, but I mean, that's crazy to even hear, isn't it?
It's wild.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know. They decided that he didn't have it. I heard he was fighting and say he didn't have it, but I didn't know that that was true.
Yeah, and when his wife is a good friend of the show. She's been on twice. But one of the funniest things about it, Jon, right, is this man. He's ready to fight the next day. If he wins the next day, he's guaranteed a fight with Mike Tyson with a guaranteed purse of a minimum without pay-per-view of $11 million. Right. He ends up testing positive for HIV, never has the fight that, would contractually guarantee him the Tyson fight. Then they move forward with the Tyson Holyfield fight. And this man spends the rest of his life depressed, basically dies broke, and he had an $88 million contract with $88 million guaranteed plus pay-per-view. I mean, truthfully, in my eyes, somebody should have to pay if that is true and they never even diagnosed him. He was never even tested for HIV on the original test. Imagine that.
It's wild.
Yeah, craziness. We'll see if that ever comes out in the media. We don't know, but I know that's still in court. I do have a couple more quick ones here, John, I wanted to throw by you. This one here, honestly, this comes from Big D. He works with the show. I know you see him on Instagram all the time with me. I mean, honestly, this is a great question because I'd love to get your opinion on this myself, even. Dana talked a lot of trash about Dustin Poirier negotiating himself out of the Ferguson fight. This pissed me off badly. With his past resume, I figure, asking for a pay increase isn't ridiculous. I figured Fitch would be a great guy to get an opinion for on this situation. Big D and Danvers. What do you think of that, John?
Yeah, man. That's textbook what Dana does. When you don't agree to his money, whatever, he attacks your character, attacks your manhood, or whatever. Like, he did it with Aldo. He's done it a number of times with other fighters. It's just he's petty, and it's just a negotiating tactic. He's trying to play the fighter, against his ego.
Yeah. Get him to fight for less. Yep.
I mean, these guys are starting to slowly wake up and see their worth a little bit more, but, they're still fighting for pennies when if they would just go to Congress with us and lobby for the Ali Act. And when these guys got introduced to Trump, they're like, hey, Donnie, could you help us out with the Ali Act?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, then they'd have, some more leverage. They'd be able to not sign these ridiculous 8-fight contracts. They have a say about their career, the direction of their career.
And after 8 fights, you got to imagine the damage it's done in 8 professional fights against 8 of the best in the world. You're going to end up miles for days. And truthfully, if you're walking into a fight against Dustin Poirier or Tony Ferguson, you know that you're not coming out of that cage the same. These guys are warriors, and they're going to go ahead and they're going to throw. And, truthfully, if you can't answer, in his last 8 fights, right, Dustin Poirier has a title win, 6 post-fight bonuses, and 1 loss. That loss being a Khabib, who you and I both know there's no shame in that. Jesus, the guy's only undefeated his entire career. But, if that's not time to ask for a pay raise, when is, John?
Yeah, these guys have a lot of eyeballs on them, and they should get a larger percent of the money they're bringing in. If they know the money's out there, so pay them.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, truthfully, a lot of the fighters that go out there are underpaid. UFC's making money hand over fist. I know Bellator's a little bit better to their fighters, percentage-wise, but, at the same time, they're not making as much as UFC to be, as good as they probably would should they have that kind of backing. It is what it is, but there's, basically the biggest dance in town is the UFC, and they're taking advantage of that now.
Yeah, they call the shots. They control 90% of the market. They control 90% of the top 10 guys in each weight class.
Yep.
It just, people have to fight for the UFC if they're going to maximize the profits, because it's the only way to access pay-per-view money. And you're going to get the bigger sponsorship money from the larger corporation too. Not corporation, but larger company too. We just need to get, some things straightened away.
And the Ali Act would help with all that, right?
Ali Act would help a great deal, because then, separating the title away from the promoter is probably the number one thing that needs to happen. When you control exclusive contracts and the title, like, everything becomes a conflict of interest, because now you want the title holder to be the guy who makes you the most money, not the guy who's the best fighter.
Yes. And if they're going to be the guy like a Conor McGregor who can come in and make you the most money, you want to give him the most high leverage bouts. I mean, not that Conor McGregor doesn't deserve them. He's won a ton of fights. And again, losing to Khabib is not, no shame in that. But if you look at it, somebody along those lines that has a Kobe Covington down the line, you want some of these guys who are garnering the attention, getting these people watching, to be the guys that are in the high leverage fights, correct? I mean, that's basically what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, because used to be, in sport it should be the skill level that you perform at is what dictates, what level you fight at, or what level you compete at. Not necessarily your entertainment value. If you're a good baseball team or a good football team or a good golfer or a good tennis player, you win and you excel and you get to the top level. Your excitement factor doesn't necessarily weigh in on that.
Yes, it shouldn't. You're right. So, like with the Ali Act, W's and L's count a lot more than, jokes on the microphone and throwing water bottles, correct? That's basically what it would boil down to.
You can't get excluded from fighting for the titles. Right? Because of the promoter doesn't think you're sellable or whatever. You still have access to fight for those things. Now, your paycheck, the amount of money you bring in, the eyeballs that you bring in, sponsorship, all that stuff will be affected. Your money will be affected by excitement.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a part of it. So your incentive is there to make money is to be exciting, but you should still be allowed to fight and earn your rank, and then keep that rank regardless of what promoter you fight for. And if you win the belts, you should be able to keep the belt regardless of what promoter you go and fight for.
Yes, and you should be able to go in between promotions too. With the Ali Act, actually, in the way it's currently constituted, would that allow people to fight against other promoters, or would you still be exclusively owned? Your contract owned by the company.
Yeah, it would be cross promotion, 100%, because the promoter, like in boxing, the promoter is supposed to be service provider. There's a service provider. They provide a service of hosting the event, promoting the event, making sure people know about the event. It's like a marketing company. Yep. But like somehow now, UFC owns the title, so they're more than a service provider.
Yeah. And they basically are the whole show. They own the title, they own the rankings, and basically they can move people up and down the rankings as they see fit.
They decide who gets to fight for the title, who doesn't get a fight for the title, what the rankings are on the way. They have everything. So it's a major conflict of interest. And if these guys want, and they honestly don't even really do a good job of promoting anymore. Now they just kind of use the guys who have their own buzz around them, and they leech off of them.
You're right. So basically, if you're Conor McGregor, you're out promoting yourself as opposed to your promoter doing it. So you're out promoting yourself. Then you come to and they just say, okay, we'll give you this fight as opposed to promoting it.
That's what Covington did also.
Yes.
Right? Because they were just winning and they were going to cut him. He's like, oh, well, I got to do something. I got to figure something out. So he's like, I'm going to act like an asshole.
Big John was there that night when he actually turned the corner with that whole spiel and started calling, when he called all the Brazilians, we started calling them names, and they basically, threw stuff at him, and he was actually had to be escorted out of there by security that night. And Big John was in the building, and he told me that was a scene for the ages with that night when Kobe Covington decided to turn the corner. I mean, that was, like I said, he did it, and now, he just got done fighting for, as a main event, basically a title eliminator against the former champ, and dominated him, right?
Yeah, and, he's been making a lot of money, he's been doing a lot of things, getting phone calls from the president.
Yep. That question, your answer to that question almost segued directly into this here. We got Mark D. from Port St. Lucie, Florida. He wants to know, John, you won 16 fights leading up to your fight with GSP. Were you questioning Dana about the title shot along the way? If so, how long were you? And then the second part of the question was, how did Dana play that off? while you were, if you were pushing for a title shot throughout those 16 wins?
I mean, man, they just didn't like me.
Yeah, 16 wins. That sounds like a title contender to me.
They already had their GSP, right? So they didn't need me.
The grappler, yeah, and they didn't need a second grappler.
Had their Matt Hughes. They already had two guys to do that.
Yep.
So they didn't, So like these guys aren't looking at this as a sport. They're looking at this as pro wrestling, and they need characters because those characters promote themselves. And they already had two characters that were like me, so they didn't need me. Like most of my early fights were one fight deals. They weren't set up for me to be fighting multiple times.
Yeah, all the way back at Fight Night 2, right? That was your first. UFC bout.
I think like my first 3 fights were one fight deals.
Wow. And you know what? I was just looking at 21-1. You were at one, leading up to, the BJ Penn draw, which I thought you won that fight too, to be honest. I mean, I feel like you got robbed under your 2 draws there. The Rory McDonald one I thought was 4-1. I mean, that was clear. I mean, truthfully, some people say you won every single round in the Rory McDonald fight. I mean, I feel like you probably do as well. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt when you dove in for the double leg and he caught you with the knee.
Yeah, I think I won that fight.
Yeah, I think everyone does. But, I mean, hey, you were a good sport about it afterwards. I'll tell you what, I'd have been a little more angry myself, with you chasing the belt. But, I mean, so they basically dragged you along there. I mean, were you pushing for a title fight when you'd won 16 fights in a row? Or, I mean, was this something that, basically Dana was like, it'll come. And then...
I wanted to, I was still testing the waters, because... the first few fights, was building. I wanted bigger fights. The problem for me was like, I didn't get any really big fights or big name fights until the Diego Sanchez fight. Because when I fought Thiago, not very many people knew who he was at all. Yeah. So it wasn't like a big name fight. So like after the Diego fight, I think that was when I started being like, come on, what's going on with the title shot stuff? I think it was sometime around that time I started pushing for it.
Yeah. And then, you went to decision with GSP. You won your next 5 after that. You got BJ Penn. I mean, it's amazing that the UFC and you parted ways, with a bitter taste because, I mean, you put on some tremendous shows. And, I mean, Octagon Minutes, like I said, you filled a lot of TV hours for them and got them a lot of commercials on fight nights and a lot of pay-per-view buys. You'd think that they'd appreciate you a little bit more, wouldn't you?
You'd think.
I'll tell you what. Someday, hopefully, Dana White will, he'll get over his whole thing with you and put you in the rightful place you belong, which is the UFC Hall of Fame. I bet you don't even think about that, due to the fact of your current standing relationship, right?
Yeah, I think they are more likely to erase me than give me an award.
Yeah. That's unfortunate to say the least, because truthfully you earned it, and like I told you, man, you got more Octagon Minutes than anybody I can even think of. I don't know. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Speaking of, so here's another one from Jim in West Forks, Maine. Thank you, Jim, for the question. With the unfortunate passing of his dad due to COVID, along with the travel restrictions, you think Khabib is risking his legacy versus a pretty tough opponent coming up? Is it too soon, in your opinion, for him to take this fight?
No, I don't think so. I think he's pretty mentally strong. Just, strong with his faith and everything. I think he's probably going to handle this better than most people would.
Yeah, he's also a training partner yours at times down at AKA. Correct. This is a guy who basically is a grappling animal and a pretty vicious fighter. You got to think that he's going to be pretty prepared. No.
Yeah, I think he's going to be ready to go. We'll see if he can overwhelm Gaethje. I don't know if Gaethje's dealt with somebody with his crushing control power.
Yeah. It's amazing the size of the man and the way that he controls people. It's pretty awesome. You've grappled with him, I'm sure, plenty of times. This man is he's the real deal, correct?
Yeah, he's strong.
It's
Super strong.
Yeah, that's years and years of practice. You can tell. I mean, like they say, his dad was coaching him from way back. Some of the stories I heard is that, I mean, for fun, the man grapples. I mean, that's just, that's insane. And I mean, I wish him the best of luck. I think that he's favored over Gaethje as well. He should be. And who knows? I mean, that after that fight, who knows where it goes from there for him? You think he retires, or you think he keeps going?
I don't know, man. He's not that old, you know. But I guess he feels that he doesn't have anything left. I think there's enough competition for him out there to fight a few more times.
Yep.
No, why not?
You'd like to see him versus Conor again, wouldn't you? I mean, I all the things I hear is that he won't fight him unless he fights Poirier again. But I mean, I'd like to see him and Conor again. Number one, Khabib would make a boatload of money. Number two, I mean, it was pretty entertaining. You could tell the disdain those two gentlemen had for each other. Well, I mean, Khabib did not like him. Conor may have been putting on the Conor McGregor / Kobe Covington act, but you could tell that Khabib was not digging that treatment. Correct?
Yeah, he wasn't having it.
Yeah.
I don't know. This fight. Is play your games.
Probably the wrong guy to try that on, right? I mean, that's not exactly somebody that's going to be shook by it. And the only thing it did was probably it ended up working against Conor more than for him, correct?
Yeah, I mean, some people just don't fight with.
Gotcha. That worked maybe against Stone Cold Steve Austin or The Rock in the WWE. Khabib,
Yeah.
you got a little different outcome coming for you. You got to think, right?
Yeah, he's not having it. Mountain people, they don't play around.
I love it. I'll tell you what. I got one more here that I want to make sure I get out. And do you think that the COVID issues impacted DC in his fight prep for his fight with Stipe? He looked a little more soft than usual, ? And then it says, did COVID or travel restrictions impact your training weight cut at all? Mike C. in Danvers. Thanks, Mike, for the question. What do you think of that? A little two-part question for you, John.
I think COVID has affected everybody. You know, it can't not. So training's been different for everybody. DC, I think, probably was still prepared pretty well because he had the money to bring guys in to train with, and he's got a gym in his house that he built. So he had everything he needed. He could bring people to him.
Yeah.
You know, I have a gym built in my garage, and I got guys who can come over and train with me. So I have people I can bring to me. So now I have a better situation than my opponents had.
Yep.
Then again, so that was kind of the fun of training and fighting during this whole lockdown. Is just kind of see what it was about, see what's going on.
Yeah, kind of see what you can make do with almost with the training, right? I mean, I see here, with the New England Cartel and all the guys from the local area with top management over around my area. I could see them, making do, training with each other, and it almost seems like who can gain the edge that way, which I'm sure that you kind of felt that way, with your gym in your garage, DC as well. But I mean, working hard to snag that edge going into the fight, right?
Yeah, it's like Rocky IV or whatever, Rocky in the barn in Russia.
Yep. It's a good comparison. I love it. I'll tell you what, John. I mean, honestly, I can't thank you enough for being here today. And I mean, everything's been awesome. I truthfully, one of the things that I did want to do is I wanted to go ahead and thank you, for always coming on the show. Thank you again for all that. What I want to do now is, every time we go ahead here, we end the show with last call. And I'll tell you what, guys. Last call is brought to you by Clearwater Distillery. Clearwater Distillery is the official top shelf alcohol of the Happy Hour Social Club. When I tell you guys, get yourself over to Clearwater Distillery. Promo code KINGHAP will save you 10% anything over $100. I mean, the most delicious small batch craft liquor on the market. I mean, truthfully, it's last call. I want to go ahead. I want to go first today, which I don't, because I want to go ahead and tell you, John, thank you so much for coming on the show. From all the Happy Hour Social Club members, thank you for a stellar career. 18 years in the cage, 32 professional wins. Like I said, you walk out with a record, I'm going to say 8-2, officially 7-2-1. I mean, thank you for your years of service and your years of entertainment. John, it's last call. Where can everybody find you? You got anything for the Happy Hour Social Club members?
And go to JohnFitch.net and sign up for the newsletter. You'll stay up to date with all the stuff I'm doing. You see.
Absolutely. And I want to throw out one last thing here, guys. A lot of people are looking to get Jon Fitch on for interviews, shows. I mean, Sirius XM, Share Dog, everyone down the line, guys, is looking to get a piece of Jon Fitch. Make sure you get over to Instagram, Jon Fitch Smash. Show this man some love. Thank him for picking the Happy Hour Social Club to come on and chat with you guys. Champ, I can't thank you enough. Is there anything else you wanted to add to the for the Happy Hour Social Club members here before you go?
No, man. Thanks for having me.
No, I can't thank you enough. And what we're going to do now, guys, we're going to throw it to my main man, Abyss, to take us out of here with Happy Hour version 2.
Yeah. Abyss, Happy Hour, AbyssHipHop.com. Hey. Sports fanatics applauding at the matches, picking winners while we sift through the brackets. Yeah, turf green like a bag of sour. We gotta talk in that podcast is the Happy Hour. Better come to the game fully geared. Who would dare? Mini beast mode since the rookie years. Yeah, little fact for the lightning round. This is Title Town, the place where all of the fire's found. We attend games on a regular. Heard more goals than a motivation seminar. Yeah, stay charged like a visa. So many bad calls, no we stopping by the most bleachers. So click play and just soak it up. This is Happy Hour, but not the same as your local pub. Sports talk, here the pro shows a must. So go like the page, call the Happy Hour Social Club. Boss move, so you know your boy paid them dues. Front row, you can see us through the pay-per-view. Fights on, watching them box like big parcels. The MMA, know that the artist mixed martial. Listen, guess you better play your best. You playing vets, and better go take a breath and just play the bench. Yeah, clap hard with these two hands. We've been true fans, reading stats off the newsstand.